A mentor always tells me that if you want to be a successful investor, then you must first of all learn to be a rich investor. Now, he always says that poor investors can only last a little time and can only make a little money. And let me tell you this, he was right. I have been a poor investor myself until I started to learn the ropes afresh. Now, the most profound thing I learned is that most investors start out as poor investors. You know, the majority of us are actually born with bad financial habits. You either have to be schooled or nurtured into becoming a rich investor, and that takes time, discipline, and a lot of practice. Now, over the years, I have learned in my own small way a few differences between a rich investor and a poor investor. But I am still in transition myself. I'll be sharing some of the things I've learned along the way. Now, all investors are risk conscious, right? All investors are risk conscious, but while some are risk averse, some are also able to manage risks and make profit despite the presence of these risks. Now, the biggest difference between a rich investor and a poor investor is that a rich investor can afford to lose, right? Can afford to lose, while a poor investor most time cannot afford to lose. That is just the major difference. Most times a rich investor is investing from their excess cash, while a poor investor only likes to invest from their last cash because they feel like if they don't invest this money, they are not going to make more money. So in this case, since a rich investor can afford to lose, they're able to think clearly, right? They're able to make good and sound investment choices despite the risks involved. But the poor investor, on the other hand, makes its investment decision based on risks involved. So they allow themselves to be emotionally swayed by the associated risks, right? Thereby making very, very poor investment decisions that affects their business. Now, a rich investor usually makes an investment based on the amount of control they have, or maybe the amount they could invest, right? But they want to have some form of control so that they could either improve their investment position, right? That it will be easy for them so that they can handle it even though something goes wrong. But a poor investor, on the other hand, does not consider control, right? Does not consider control. Their major aim is just to make money. So they are easily swayed, they are trapped. So at times when they now close the investment and they are loose, they end up in dead end and they are down for a long time. They get scared of even entering into another investment. So a rich investor sees every investment like a business. Very, very important. They know that it takes time for a business to grow, right, and reward its investors. So they need to be patient, right? They mostly employ patience, right? Patience to invest in their project. But a poor investor, they're always in quick. They want to make this thing quick. The biggest secret of a rich investor is that they are not only looking for maybe return of their investment. They also want other derivatives for their investment. They want dividends, they want cash flows, they want high value network for their dividends, and many other things. They are not just investing for capital gains, right? They are putting their money to work so that they could have leverage and other investment opportunities in many ways. You understand? But a poor investor, on the other hand, just wants to make return, right? You want to make gains, return of their capital as quick as possible. Their plan is to make reasonable return of investment as quick as possible. So let's take, for example, a real estate investment, right? While the rich investor takes time to find the right opportunity that gives him reasonable equity, right? The poor investor will be looking for surface satisfied to just try to fix something so that the investment that will make maybe 20 million naira per year, the rich investor will have maybe 20% of the equity and they're making 4 million per year cash flow. But on the other hand, if it's a poor investment, they just want to make that 20 million in that year. They don't want to share the equity, they don't want to share the dividend. So that is the difference between these two investors. And the thing is, has anyone ever told you that their business or investment is all about the mission? Right? For every business, you must have a mission, you must have the vision, the goal of that business. That person that will tell you the vision and mission for his business, that person is probably a rich investor. While rich investor wants to make money from their investments, they would also support reasonable projects with strong mission. A rich investor would never insist in project sponsoring maybe terrorism or that are harmful to the environment because they want to make gain. No. They do not do all those things. No compromise. They know the business. So I would advise you, as you're starting a business, you want to invest in business that are legitimate. You do not want to invest in any fraudulent project that will lead to moral bankruptcy and maybe questionable causes. So no matter if the money is black or gold or blue, A poor investor doesn't care as long as they get paid. So this is why you need to be in transition from moving from a poor investor to a rich investor. So my biggest investment lesson so far is that investing is not a game, right? If you want to grow as an investor, you have to stop looking at investment like a game, whether you win or lose. No, it's not a betting thing. It's not an odds or even no. So instead, right, start looking at investment like it's a project that needs your financial and human resources to grow. Now, there could be upside downs, of course, but there's always potential that can create a massive wealth by investing in such great opportunities. So I encourage you guys, learn to be a rich and a good investor. Thank you.